Good evening. So why am I on today? Let's talk about 5 simple ways and effective methods and strategies to prevent burnout. I have been going non-stop since middle of last week. I got into the weekend, I was doing live vlogs in the morning, I did a live show for an hour on a Saturday morning, and then I went straight on to the market, the artisan market, and leaving to do a live vlog there as well. And then I went on to Fife Fest to do vlogs all the way through that as well, live. And then I got up after getting to my bed at 1 o'clock in the morning on a Saturday night, and I got up on the Sunday morning and I went and did a live vlog at the Bow House market over in East Neuk as well. And then I prepared for my show for night time and put all the preparation work in to do a live show at 7 o'clock at night, while also later on in that day in between attending Fife Fest and doing more live vlogs. So by the time I got to Monday morning, hoocha boy, it was tough. And I took an opportunity to actually take a wee break in between, and I always do that on a Monday morning because it's the most hectic time to do it. But I thought I would talk about it because I'm kind of getting back to grips with things now and been taking a wee bit of time to actually ease off. Although a lot of people think today, no, you've no eased off at all. In my mind, I think I have. But I'll tell you the clear strategies that we use. First of all, in order to prevent burnout, find a creative outlet. I mean, creativity is really one of the best ways to prevent burnout. Do you have a creative outlet you can make use to make your life easier? Do you love to draw? Do you love to paint? Play an instrument? Play football? Run? Cycle? Walk? Do whatever. Sit out in the back garden like I do and just take that break in between. Sitting in the back garden in between coming home from work and going back in the house is almost like the equivalent of, it's better for you though, the equivalent of when you used to go to the pub before you came home. But that was a lot of years ago. You didn't do that now. I don't think anybody does that now. Does anybody do that now? Be interested to hear anybody's comments. So it's important you find a creative way to release energy and fight stress as well, because it does help. The second one, for the most important one, is strategies to prevent burnout. Is find time for yourself. Do you spend all your time working and taking care of family and friends? It's crucial, really, to find time for yourself, even when you've got a busy schedule. Carve out some time each day, I would say, to relax and do something you actually enjoy. Chores, family, work, obligations, and everything else can really wait. That's the most important thing. So leave that to the side. It's important you take time for yourself and relax. One of the main reasons really for burnout happens is because people keep actually pushing themselves and don't take enough breaks to regroup and heal. I often say a lot of people, and one strategy I've got is you've got your peak performance where you're up here on your wee graph. Just imagine it's here. But what you want to do is continually work just below that peak performance all the time. So just below peak performance all the time, work to that level. But when you really need it, push yourself up at that above peak performance and go for it. But remember to come back down and go back below peak performance again, so you constantly take time out for yourself as a result. So that's why I talk about find time for yourself. Psychologists actually recommend spending some time away from your to-do list. For example, you may want to eat lunch away from your desk in a more relaxing environment, and this truly actually gives you a break. Often I'll just go to the back garden where I roll and just eat that while I'm sitting in the back garden. That's the perfect place to sit here. I just sit on my bench and listen to the birds. Listen. Hear them? That's it. And there's no noise at all. It's just the birds. And sometimes the cats will just appear out the bushes and come and see me. I've got a few cats. The next one, the third one, to avoid burnout. If you know somebody that's on this sort of level of possibly burning out, please share it with them. But remember, if it's me you're going to share it with, I'm reading it already. I know about this. I know some people will obviously share it back to me. But I know about this already, so I do take time out and I do make sure I look after myself. I've been there before, I'm no going back. So reach out to others. Prevent burnout by talking about your concerns and your worries with others. Do you have someone you can trust so you can share your issues that weigh you actually down? Ian, Ian gets all my stuff, typically on a Monday morning. And it's a great time to actually share each other's, weights and just go over things and kind of just vent to a degree. Facebook's not a good place to do that sometimes, because you get the neggies and they jump on you, and they actually start to criticise you, which actually makes you worse because you get more stressed about what you've just said and will everybody judge you. So maybe Facebook's not the best place to vent. You're better to do it with somebody you trust. Private message them even, or even have a wee chat with them on Messenger and video messenger or something like that. Communicating your concerns can help you discover new solutions to your challenges. Often that's a really good time to think. The support of a friend or a loved one can often help the burnout, and it's tempting to avoid others during burnout, but talking about the issue and being around people whose company you can enjoy can help you actually get back an equilibrium faster. So it's really important to do that as well. Fourth one for me is probably dig deep. Dig deep into your mind and soul. Look inward. Why are you burning out? What's truly causing the stress in your life? It's important to look inside instead of just focusing on external issues outside. Often you don't realise that the things that are manifesting itself that's causing the burnout in the first place is actually internally, and it's not externally. It's not the external forces that actually cause this, it's actually within. So you have to tackle the issue within in order to avoid the burnout itself. Here's a classic. Are you being a perfectionist? Are you taking too much work home or responsibilities home? Evaluating your life can actually lead to curtailing burnout itself. Finally, I think the one for me is possibly focus on the positive. Try to focus on the positive all the time. Burnout can occur because your focus is lost and misdirected on negative emotions and thoughts. Whatever you plant here will grow. If you plant negative thoughts up here and you begin to almost water it, if that makes sense. So it's like you're planting the seed. Somebody plants the seed of a negative thought, and then what happens is you give it some time and space in your mind and you start to think about it. And that's almost like watering a plant or a seed, and then it starts to grow as a result within your mind. So whatever you put in your mind is whatever overcomes you. So if you're putting negative in your mind, it's the only thing you can think about. You can only think about one thing at a time, remember. So if you think about negative thoughts, you're going to get negative results. So it's clearly, you've got to then stop yourself thinking like that and talk to yourself for a moment. I do that. Oh, wait a minute, Jim. What are you doing? What are you playing at? And then stop yourself in your tracks and start to look at the positive points to it. So whatever you put in your mind grows. So put the positive stuff in regardless. Try to do that. You can message me here direct if you want. If you ever have that situation, more than happy to, have a chat with somebody over Messenger or something like that. If it helps you, well, it'll probably help me. Consider your daily thoughts and feelings. Are you focusing on the negative aspects of every situation? Probably that's the main reason. And how can you change your thoughts, as I said, on a more positive path? You may want to create lists of positive actions and affirmations that you can say throughout the day to keep you on track in that process. You can also keep a notebook of inspirational ideas to help you avoid negativity. And probably one of the other things is it's important to recognise negative emotions and the factors that are actually causing them before the burnout occurs. Don't wait for the burnout to happen. You can identify trigger points in your whole situation. If you've had burnout before, or you're near burnout before, or you can see things like that coming, you can't think rationally. you're on your way to burnout. If you can't think rationally, you know that, so that's a warning sign straight away. So take stock of that and take action about it. Actually just stop doing what you're doing and walk away and do something else completely different before it gets to that urgent situation. You may have to set boundaries with people who are creating negative in your life. Stay away from the neggy people. Or tell them to shut up at the best. And you may have to say no more often and reject more work responsibilities to stay balanced. Remember, your health's worth it. Just learn to say no. I mean, that's the most important point. I mean, a lot of people find it really difficult to say no. So you have to learn to say no. That's what I would say is one of the most important issues you should focus on. Just learn to say no. And if you found this helpful, please share it with other people. Everybody needs to know about these things. It affects everybody, burnout. You don't want anybody to get to that stage. So this is probably top tips to help you avoid it before you get there. And until next time, guys, I'll see you tomorrow. Bye for now.